Hello everyone and welcome back to Daily Game Review number 14. Today we have Coxbury versus Tom Newman. Tom Newman. 14Q versus a 16Q. And for some reason the 16Q is white. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. And we'll see. Yeah. But this is the losing on the second move thing. This is a common saying where if white plays here, giving black the perfect approach, it's actually losing on the second move. So we'll see if that's true in this game. However, remember guys that this is not an ideal move because as soon as your opponent plays an open corner, you play an open corner, black will get an ideal approach here if he plays this way. Instead, black actually approached this way, which is also completely fine. He did approach and he has approaches from support. Since he has a perfect approach with support, it's usually not recommended to play this way as white because it's really easy to approach here. You have support and I don't really see a good follow-up for white, so normally I don't recommend playing this to you guys. However, white is going to play it and we'll see how it goes for him. White plays here, black extends back here. Old-fashioned shape. I think you can actually go even further because when white goes here and you go up, it's 2 stones, 1 to jump 3. So I usually would like to go further, either here or maybe even here, and see how it plays out. But in the game, black played here, but if white gets this move off, we can see that this black stone looks a little close to himself, a little close to the 2 stones, and if white gets a pincer off, like say here, it looks like a weak group. So I'm not a big fan of this move. However, we see that white Tanuki, so it doesn't really matter anymore, I guess. Since both stones on the right side are on the 4th line, I usually do want to play here. This is my style. Since there's 2 4th line stones, 4th line once come down to the 3rd line, I kind of feel the right side's unfinished, so I would kind of want to start finishing it. However, black plays the 1-space pincer, and we'll see how this works. White jumps, black plays high to keep the pressure. White playing a knight's move here. Not really common because remember the knight's moves are cuttable, and you don't use a knight's move to run away. If you run away with the knight's move, it's very cuttable and it can really backfire. Actually, I think black can even Tanuki right now, and it might be interesting to see how white deals with this. I think this is good for black, even if black just cuts right now. So remember guys, don't run with the knight's move. Play like this, and even locally, even if black just fixes like so, it's actually forcing black to make territory on the 4th line, giving him perfect territory and you not enough influence. So white, I don't think this is a good strategy for you to play this shoulder hit and knight's move. Just jump here, perfectly fine, and then you can pincer with a move like here or here. This is Joseki. Make sure you look up the Joseki after the game to see how it normally plays out, but this is definitely not good. However, black plays here. I think this jump is a little premature. Normally you want to jump as soon as you can. However, with the cutting points, I really don't like black's position because the ladder works for white, but since there is this cut, maybe it's still okay. But I think the cut was there anyway, regardless, so all you did was give white a free stone with this jump. White instead actually forces black to fix. Remember guys, you do not want to force your opponent to fix their own weakness. If you were going to push, then go ahead and just push like so. Don't worry about the jump because maybe there's an invasion later, maybe there's an Aji. Don't force your opponent to fix the Aji. If you're not going to push, then or if you're not going to cut, then probably you shouldn't push because it actually lowers your own liberties, and now the cut actually works again. So normally don't push unless you're going to cut, due to the fact that it lowers your liberties, and usually it's bad style. Anyway, white does do this. White had a cut, but now he doesn't anymore. He actually forced his opponent to fix, and now black has a really nice right side position, and white has cutting points. So white still needs the fix. Black gets this Hane off. I wouldn't recommend this Hane due to the fact that there is still some liberty problems for black here. And you can see that black still has a cutting problem. When you have a bunch of liberties and a bunch of cuts, maybe it's usually good just to stay solid here and no be here. It's also white's pushing black from behind on the 4th line, so black's getting 4th line territory here. I see no reason not to no be here. I think it's very good for black. So white, don't push your opponent from behind and don't give him 4th line territory for free. And white's still fixing here. Even after black Hane, white still didn't try the cut. So both players need to really keep an eye on the weaknesses in your own shape and in your opponent's shape. These cuts are pretty like twice they came about that might have worked in white's favor. However, you can see that neither player saw them in time. White still pushing from behind. Stop pushing from behind like this, white. Just go ahead and fix your cuts like so, get some good shape, and play the rest of the game. However, you keep pushing like this, and black is going to keep getting influence, or keep getting the right side, and now black can actually come back and start attacking. Since black is now super strong on the right side, he can actually come back and start splitting and attacking and exploiting white's weaknesses here, rather than letting white get his way on the outside. However, white is still pushing from behind, and now you can see black's trying to resist a little bit, but instead he's actually going to give white some points on the bottom. I don't think black has to respond to this anymore. These cuts are very nice, and I would go ahead and cut here. Responding on the inside, you don't want to respond on the inside any more than you have to. While you were getting fourth line territory, it was fine, but as soon as you get over here, you're not getting any territory because you already have it. So all you're doing is playing a bunch of dame and giving white thickness. So rather than that, go ahead and start cutting, counterattacking, and get to the outside. However, black is defending the inside. Black gets maybe 4 points, and white gets about 10 to 15. So you can see white is getting a lot more than black now. Now black invades. Don't worry about invading just yet, black, because this is not the most open side. You can either attack white's weaknesses with the cuts or play the biggest move, and the biggest move is either going to be the left side or fixing your stone on the top side. So you can fix here, you can give it support from afar, or you can play the big move on the left side. And I really like the left side right now. I think the left side is quite big. If you're worried about the influence, you could even play here, and a high move will help cancel out the influence. So a high move is probably recommended here. Even if white plays here, you can play here. Both of you get a corner. You have some influence, white has some influence, and maybe you can invade later. However, invading immediately is not ideal because white has a gigantic thick wall here, and while white is pushing you towards his wall over here, he's going to make some influence to help build the left side, and if he gets a Sente and gets to the left side, white is going to have a lot more territory than black. So it is not ideal for black to invade just yet. Black playing this move, remember you don't want to shoulder hit or touch a stone immediately. Normally you play like this, and then you can jump like so to play some sabaki or play quickly. Sabaki means to play loosely and be willing to give up part of it to get out with the main chunk. Since white is very powerful here, or very strong, very thick, I think black just needs to play quickly and lightly like so. However, playing like this is actually a common mistake made by Q players or WGQ players. It looks like you're extending further, but you're actually giving white even more forcing moves on you, and your shape is going to be even less or it's going to actually be worse than if you would have just 1 point jumped. You don't get any more eyes, your opponent gets more forcing moves, and now you can see white is surrounding you even more than if you had just played this way. So remember, this jump here, if it's a shoulder hit, if there's a white stone here, it's usually not good because your opponent gets the Hane headed to like this and the double Hane follow-up, and it's really powerful for white. So usually don't play that, guys. However, black plays like this and white extends. Normally you want to take the tiger's mouth here. The tiger's mouth is usually a very nice vital point to get to, and now black is struggling to live on the inside and white is getting profit on the outside, so I think it's a little good for white. However, white instead extends on the left side, makes some points, makes some profit. Black will get the tiger's mouth and live very easily here, but white got a little bit of profit and got to the big move on the left side, so I think white's a little bit better off here in this corner, but on the whole board I think black is still fine because the right side is huge for black. Instead, black is going to ignore his weak group and play over here. And remember, guys, if you want to fix the corner, it's a knight's move, not a large knight's move, because the large knight's move is still invadable with this Joseki. Please remember this Joseki, guys. It's quite important for you guys to remember. And yeah, like this, and this stone cannot escape. Even if this stone tried to escape with something like this, it's still dead on the inside because it's a net. This is the net works. Please remember it. And white is completely alive on the inside. White does have two eyes in this exact shape, and this is the Joseki. So remember that even with the large knight's move, the corner is still not secure, so this is not the ideal move on the left side. It is this one. Additionally, you have a weak group. Normally you want to fix weak groups first before you Tanuki. Alright, getting back to the game, white instead extends here, and now black has a chance to fix the top side. He gets a double wing. Normally a double wing is really bad with the star point. You really want to fix this corner now. Getting a double wing basically means you extend on both the top or both sides from the star point, but the 3-3 is still open. And if you extend on both sides of the 3-3 and white invades the 3-3, then one of these stones will be in a really poor position, and you can see the influence is not going to be great for black, because once you play out this Joseki like so, white has an easy shoulder hit here normally, or even here, to reduce the moyo, and now the moyo is getting smaller and smaller, so normally double wing is a very bad shape to have with the star point. So instead, white does invade here, giving black the chance to fix his corner like so, and black instead plays a sliding move, perfectly fine actually. This move isn't too bad, and takes the base of white. White runs away with a knight's move. Remember, don't run away with a knight's move. It's the same as the right side. You want to jump unless you're playing sabaki or something like that. Jump is very solid, very secure, and get away to the center, and it should be fine for white. However, white plays like so, and now there's a potential cut later, or now I think I would go ahead and defend this, and then the cut becomes potent later if black gets done here. So black could actually jump here and threaten the cut and then get us around. So maybe something like that's fine, but cutting immediately will give a little bit of aji to the C13 stone. However, we'll see how white deals with it. White instead does fix the top side instead of trying to cut the left side, so now black should be okay. White giving up the one stone, and now we can see that the top left corner is very huge for black, and white still has a cut, so now white has to play this way and then black can come out. Defending here, I'm not sure why black defended here. This is kind of a wasted move and doesn't really do anything. White now gets to fix with the tiger's mouth. Black still has to fix here, and now white's going to get attack these two stones very nicely, like so, and white gets this around. This wedge is unnecessary, I think, and I think a little overplay. So if black plays this way, you can see that white doesn't really have any follow-ups here. So I think instead of the wedge, just go ahead and get this around, and it's good enough. Or you can play here if you're worried about it. Worried about black extending on the top side. This is also completely surrounded, and now white has the influence in the center, and black is still not alive, so black still has to connect like here. Or black can go here and then connect. It's perfectly fine. Or here. I guess this is the best move. That way you can see black's connected, has points on the side, white has a center, and now white can come back and attack this group on the bottom left, and I think white's slowly catching up in this game. However, instead, white plays the wedge. Black doesn't see the weakness in the wedge. Black does connect, however, and now white gets this around, but be careful not to lose Sente white. You really want to get to the bottom left corner. Black, don't push your opponent into your corner. It's better to play this way. Even if white plays here, it's two stones. Who cares? Get this and cancel out the center, and you should be ahead. Even if white gets this, it doesn't really matter. It's two stones. You can actually ignore that and still go something like over here or something, get some reductions, maybe a target from the outside and jump up like so. There's several things you can do. Just get to the big areas rather than dealing with these small areas. Don't play on small moves, and don't push your opponent into your own corner because the corner is quite large. You don't want to give it up for free. White, a little bit of misreading here, so definitely got to work on that reading. And white defends 1 point instead of reducing. I have no idea why white did that. This is quite huge compared to that 1 point. All white did was take 1 point. Maybe he wanted the eyes, but he's connected all around. He's out and doesn't need an eye at all. This move is very huge compared to this move, and now white actually gives black the inside corner, and black has 6, 8, 10 points over white, and black at 10 points, white got 1, so it's a 9-point gain for black, all because white played the wrong move. So definitely made a mistake there, white. White now trying to surround the center. It's better to surround from this area because this area is kind of Sente. Forcing black to live on the inside is actually much more powerful here, and don't let black off so easily, and now you'll see you'll make points for free anyway in the center while attacking this group, so that's definitely the way to use your thickness. Attack to gain profit. That's usually what you want to do. Black did get to Tiger's Mouth, and now you can see white is struggling to keep his area, and black's easily reducing. Well, he was, and okay, now black's reducing, and don't need to play here, I think. If you do, then you shouldn't have lowered that liberty. If you're going to have to defend, then don't worry about playing here. Instead, get to the big moves, maybe like so, or Hana here, and go and play some in-game. Some in-game here. So anyway, much bigger than this. Don't want to lose Sente if you can help it. White taking away his own point. White, you can't be scared. This is completely unnecessary. It takes away your own point, and you lose Sente. Go ahead and defend your area with something like this, and you can see it's much more valuable. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Anyway, black now jumps in here. Very nice. And defends here. Tiger's Mouth be a little bit better here. Push in. White now trying to defend. Black not doing anything there. He's just overplaying. And now both players trying their own little end game There's a double Atari here. Very nice double Atari here. Oh, black, you completely missed it. Now white's going to get the chance to fix, which he does. Black ignores and doesn't take his profit for the corner. The corner is actually free for black to get to now because white ignored it. And now you can actually get to this corner as well. And black should be quite ahead on territory if black plays this way. But instead, black playing these small center moves. And now he gets to the big move, okay? And they extend. So both players need to work on their end game and their reading ability quite a bit. But we'll see how the rest of the game proceeds. Black overplaying again here and losing a stone, 2 stones there in that area, losing quite a few points. Now defending, black definitely needs to get this move. It's actually bigger for white to reduce here than to save these 3 stones. Even if black plays here, white can do that. And now white can actually jump in very deeply here, or actually maybe here. Even if that doesn't work, there's still this jump, and this jump takes away a lot more points than these 3 stones, which is only 6 to 8 to maybe 10 points max. This is already like 15. But much better end game there. Reducing there, and now both players trying their best to reduce, and we can see that it's practically over now. Black overplaying, don't know what he's doing. Alright, so now let's see the game info. Black wins by half a point. Wow, really, really close. So that means black lost a lot in the end game. Alright, so white, make sure you don't push your opponent from behind, like on the right side, and don't give him 4th line territory. The thickness is not equal to 4th line territory. 4th line territory is much, much bigger. The thickness did end up getting you something in the middle, only because black never reduced it earlier on. Remember, black had the option to ignore some of the top moves and reduce early on, and then your thickness would have been pointless in comparison. Both players missed the bottom left corner. Remember, attacking weakness and defending weakness is much bigger than just playing some small moves on top. White, you tried too hard for the center. Don't worry about it. The center is not that big. The center is really, really, really not that big. Also, white, you missed an invasion of the top left at C17, the 3-3 point. You missed the top left 3-3. You really should have got to that much sooner. And so got to work on those big moves. I think reviewing professional games, like older Japanese games from 30 to 40 years ago, maybe 50 years ago, something like that, will help you in your opening decision-making skills, getting your direction of play down, and also will create some good shapes. I think replaying professional games will really help you figure out what you need to be doing. Black, same thing. Replay the older professional games, because you played a lot of slow moves on top, and you played some slow moves in the bottom right corner when your opponent was surrounding you. You kind of let them surround you. Don't want to let your opponent surround you so easily. You want to get to the big moves much more quickly. So I think for both players, review older professional games from about 40-50 years ago and do go problems. You have to up your reading, guys. It's one of the things you're just going to have to do. You have to up your reading. So do go problems every day, 5 to 10 a day minimum, and just do them whenever you can. You don't have to do them in one sitting. You can spread them out, maybe 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening, who knows. But spread them out if you need to, but try to get to those 5 to 10 go problems a day, minimum 5. But try and do it every single day, guys. It's really, really important that you practice your reading skills and up your reading skills so that we can read better, and replay professional games to get a feel for how to play in the opening and direction of play in the middle game. It's usually very useful to have these skills. Once you get them down, you can submit more games to see what you need to work on next. But those are the 2 things I think are the biggest that you guys need to work on right now. Anyway, hopefully you guys found this helpful. Hopefully the viewers also found this helpful. Remember, guys, if you want to submit your own game to get reviewed, please submit it in the link in the description below. Well, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.